Fantastic. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. My name's Barbara and I'm the General Manager here at Garage Trail. Before we begin, I'd like to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. So a huge thank you for joining us for the second of our trail tutorials today, the Secondhand Fashion Fix. We're delighted to have lots of you joining us from all around Australia, and we really do have an amazing treat in store for you this afternoon. For those of you that are new to Garage Trail and don't know very much about us, we're a not-for-profit social enterprise. We were founded 13 years ago, and our mission is really all about connecting communities and stopping good stuff going to landfill. And hopefully, I hope you can tell from the costumes on screen that we like to have lots of fun doing it too. We're probably best known for hosting a giant festival of garage sales all around Australia. This year, we've got over 8,000 garage sales already registered. They're happening on the 11th and 12th and 18th and 19th of November, so just 2 weeks' time. And we'll see hundreds and thousands of people selling and shopping at garage sales over those 2 weekends. And it's not just households. We'll see unit blocks, schools, community groups, crafters, you name it, rolling up their roller doors around Australia to sell pre-loved stuff. But today, however, is all about our trail tutorials. And they are a series of free talks all about topics that we really care about here at Garage Trail. And they've been curated for us by the fantastic Jo Taranto. She's from Good for the Hood, and you may well have seen her on your TV screen as a host of Channel 10's Planet Shapers. As part of the trail tutorials, we have an incredible lineup of well-known faces and experts who are joining us to share their tips about fashion, flipping, and friendship. And it's all made possible thanks to an incredible bunch of partners who make what we do free for anyone around Australia to take part in. So a big shout out to all of those local government partners, state, private sector and community organisations, as well as people like you who join us for our events. So let's now look to today's session. I'm sure you are itching to get started. So today is all about fashion. And we're joined by two absolute masters of style, Jo Gambale and Dibley, who alongside us will be peering into Veronica Milsom's wardrobe, and we'll be getting some tips and inspiration to help us make the most of what we've got. There's, I'm sure lots of you on the line are across some of the crazy stats there are out there about the way we're consuming stuff in Australia. We're all consuming lots more new stuff, but using it less. And in fact, I was reading something just the other day that says, on average, most of us wear only 20% of our wardrobe. So it's a really small percentage of our wardrobe we're using. And that's where today comes in. Today is about how do you shop your own wardrobe? How do you make the most of what you've already got? Which is not only the most sustainable way to shop, but also the most budget friendly. I'm sure you're going to have questions for us, and we do encourage you to get questions rolling in throughout the session. You'll see a little Q&A box on your screen. Click into that and pose any questions that you've got for our incredible experts today, and we will ask those as we go, and then again at the end of the session. So before we kick on, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about our fantastic experts, and then I'm going to hand over to the people you really want to hear from. So we have our style experts, Jo and Ali. Hello, Jo and Ali.
Hello.
So Jo is a fashion magazine writer turned circular fashion advocate. She has an incredible startup called Slogue, where she works as a secondhand stylist for musicians, actors, performers. I know she's styled for things like the Logies, music videos, you name it. Jo has styled it. And then the fabulous Ali Dibley, also her co-host on a questioning fashion podcast, owns and runs Bell Street, which if you haven't been and you live in the inner west of Sydney, get yourself down to Bell Street in Marrickville. It's an incredible vintage dress hire shop. Ali has a degree in fashion design and textiles. She's been a design and technology teacher. And as you can see from her backdrop, she's been spending the last 10 years making custom wedding dresses as well. So our dynamic duo of Ali and Jo are going to be helping Veronica with some of her biggest fashion woes and rummaging through her wardrobe with us this afternoon. Lots of you will recognize Veronica. Hello there, Veronica.
Hello.
And you can see Veronica in her wardrobe right now. So Veronica is a radio host, a writer, and a comedian, basically an all-round superstar. You may have heard her on Triple J's Drive Show. You may have seen her in Sean McAuliffe's Mad as Hell. And if you haven't already listened to it, she also hosted an exceptionally good podcast called Threads, which pulls the changing room curtain back on the issues within the fast fashion industry. So let's start with you, Veronica. Why don't you kick us all off by telling us a bit about your own personal journey with fashion and style?
Awesome. I noticed that was I'm like, oh no, is it working?
Oh, you're back now. Perfect.
But did you hear anything?
You were a bit robotic.
Purpose. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go on like you can hear me. Yeah, I'm not a master of style, but I want to be. No, my journey through caring about sustainable fashion basically started because I noticed that I would buy things to reward myself, as I feel like so many people do. Like I would work really hard and then I would think, oh, because I've worked so hard, I deserve to buy myself a new piece of clothing. And I think I also got like that endorphin hit when someone said, oh, is that new? You look great when you're wearing something new. And I'm probably guilty of being one of those people who only wears 20% of their wardrobe, even now, post Threads. Because like one of the biggest learnings of making this podcast, Threads, along with like lots of statistics, like, 20% of the wardrobe, or you only wear your clothes an average of 7 times before getting rid of them. Like I learned all of these horrible facts about where our clothes go, about, what happens to them at op shops and how we should just be consuming less. We should just buy less. And the biggest thing, the way that I've tried to deal with my shopping habit is that now I just shop at op shops, which is great, right? I buy stuff like from op shops, but I buy things like, I've got some clothes in front of me, like a t-shirt like this that I was like, oh, it's shiny, but I've never worn it. I've bought it and I've just never worn it, and I probably never will, What's wrong with me? I can't stop things. I need to just say, it's got this weird cutout at the back. What am I thinking?
No, it's cute.
Oh, thank you. My problem is that enough is enough. I just need to stop buying altogether, and I need Ali and Jo to help me to shop my own wardrobe. That's what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you've kind of hit the nail on the head there, because I think what I've realized, because I work with a lot of people with their own wardrobes, as well as styling, video shoots and all the other celebrities. I mean, I do style normal people. And what I find with all the women's wardrobes that I've been into is that they always seem to look to the shops for answers to their wardrobe woes, and they're not actually spending any time with the things they've already bought. So I think the reason, I don't think it's because you've started shopping secondhand that you're now finding you're not wearing the stuff you're buying. It's just that you're more aware of your behaviors now. I think you'd buy Zara. and you wouldn't wear it. And it's to me, it's very clear why. I mean, it's been more clear since 2020 when I started Slogue and started working directly with clients and seeing inside wardrobes. It's been really eye-opening for me, and my work has kind of changed because of it. I've adapted to how other people work, because everyone works differently. But what I've basically, the main takeout for me has been that people buy something, then they put it in their wardrobe, and then they kind of don't think about it again, or they'll wear it once in the way that they think it should be worn, or maybe the way it was styled in the shop, and then they put it away and they kind of can't think of another way to wear it. So they've already done the outfit, and then it's like, I don't know how else to wear it, and they just ignore it. And then next time they need to like feel good about themselves at an event, or just you know, at work, they think they need to buy something else because that thing is kind of, they've worn it and they don't really know what else to do. It's basically not spending time, or they've forgotten about it. So what I say is, you know, so let's say in a relationship, say if you go to a relationship counselor because you're struggling with your relationship, they're not going to say, look, forget about him, her, just get on Tinder and find a new one. They're going to say, spend more time with your person and talk more and listen more and have fun. And that's basically how I see wardrobe, like how I see shopping your own wardrobe, how I see just general fashion issues, you know, is that you probably have something you can wear in your wardrobe, and you really need to get to know your wardrobe really well before you go to the shops again.
And like the relationship analogy, like there's probably a reason you bought the thing in the first place. There's love there. You know, there's good things in your wardrobe.
You love the sparkly thing. You never wear it. Well, what we need to address is why you don't wear it, and how you could wear it, that you feel like it's you, and that, you know, you're enjoying the sparkle actually on you, you know, not just from on a hanger. So yeah, I mean, it's basically what it all comes down to is psychology. It doesn't come down to the pieces themselves, you know. And you know, you could have something by Shein, which, you know, obviously you would never promote, but if you own something by Shein already and it's in your wardrobe, that is the most sustainable fashion you can wear right now, because it's already in your wardrobe. So rather than going out even and buying a sustainable label, what we try and teach is, you know, the most sustainable clothes are the ones already in your wardrobe. Maybe don't buy from Shein again, like ever, but wear the Shein thing to absolute death. Won't take long, but anyway.
So what did you love about the purple sparkly thing?
Oh, the exact thing that I talked about in the podcast not to love. It's made from like polyester crap. Like it's so it's terrible to manufacture, but it's shiny, you know?
I know. And you know, now that you own it, you can stop feeling guilty about that, because I give you permission to stop feeling guilty about that, because whatever, you bought it, it's your shit, you got to deal with it. That's how I put it, you know. What's that?
No, someone else bought it. It was secondhand. It was like
no, exactly. But I think that once you own it, it's basically your job, your responsibility to wear it and just, you know, make use of it. And I will say that obviously there is still chance of causing more environmental problems by owning polyester, because of course when we put them in the wash,
she's lost.
She's lost. Then, you know, you're going to lose some microplastics and all of that stuff. So I do suggest being really careful as to how you wash it. And we've got tips on that later if anyone wants to ask those questions. But let's get stuck into the styling. I think it's so good. And you've put it over a top. I mean, I would wear maybe a thinner top for a start underneath, because that probably feels a bit bulky, does it?
It does feel bulky.
Can I see the weird cutouts? Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so for one, I will start by saying that any turtleneck is such a vibe from the front that it's kind of irrelevant that you've got cutouts at the back. You could very easily just wear a jacket over it and winter it up and not worry about the back. And obviously you'd have something underneath, and you know, but I do think that I quite like the cutouts as well. It just adds a little. I like the idea that anything that has like two different things coming together that are usually opposing, I like in an outfit. So for instance, turtleneck, you think of kind of quite done up, but like cutouts quite sexy. So, you know, and same with the sparkle. So I think you bought a treasure there. I would have bought that for sure.
Hey, can I show you something that has two opposing ideas?
Say that again.
Sure.
Can I two opposing ideas, and I think you'll hate it.
Okay.
I love to hate things.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, I like that.
Okay, that has got more than two opposing ideas, I would suggest. Okay, so you don't wear. Is this another thing you don't really know how to wear?
Oh, I bought it from an op shop, and I've never worn it.
Yeah. What do you think? I feel like it's got one too many things, or do you think it's got enough things? I mean,
I love an interesting black thing.
Oh yeah, that's true. You do.
It's a bit easier to wear than something that's like a strange cut and bright colors, but
yeah, because it's got a utilitarian kind of vibe to it.
But if I had that and I tried it and I decided the tassels and whatever's going on there on the sleeves is too much, I would cut the sleeves off, because it would be a really cute,
like a vest.
Top. Yeah.
And then what would you do with the sleeves? Because they're pretty cool on their own. I mean, I like them. I would add the sleeves to like a black, like a tank top.
Yeah.
I'd add the sleeves to a tank top or a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And then you make especially a black t-shirt that you're a little bit bored of, or even one that's like super old that you only wear in bed and has got holes. Imagine how like that would look totally intentional if you had a skanky old t-shirt with like these fabulous sleeves, and you could wear that intentionally, and you're opposing two things again there. I feel like you could upcycle with those sleeves. But, and do you I mean, I assume you don't, well, I shouldn't assume this, but do you sew yourself?
Oh no, I do sew. I did
apologies.
I did sewing in year 12. I stopped doing math sewing in year 12. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you can either do that yourself, or if you think you probably don't have time, you can find, like, if you don't have a local seamstress, go to the local dry cleaner. They're
dry cleaners
really good. Yeah. Like, I think people,
they dismiss them.
They do. You found that,
because the shop doesn't look fancy. Dry cleaning shops don't look fancy because they can't really. But they have usually been sewing a very long time.
And they won't overcharge potentially because they're not fancy. So all the better. So I would definitely be taking things to the dry cleaners / your own seamstress. I do that all the time. I do that more than I do shopping these days. So that, there you go. Have you got anything else to show us? Has that been helpful so far?
And while Veronica's doing that, I might just ask a quick question of you guys. We had a question from Joe saying, are there any ways to help stray threads pulling on polyester fabric? So that's a great one that you could cover.
Oh, pulling. Right. I thought you were going to say in the wash. Ali, this might be
like in the fabric where it snags.
Yeah, I think it's like exactly when you get kind of the threads coming out.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a way to like prevent it happening, because apart from being careful with your jewelry, like when you put things on, being a bit, having maybe your mum's voice in your head of going, don't sit on the bus bench with your nice clothes on.
It is be good to be
sometimes
careful with your clothes.
Even if it is something quite cheap, it's still worth being careful if it makes it last longer. But if it's already happened, you can see the weave of the fabric. Like fabric should be like a weave.
Mm-hmm.
Pull along the length of the weave in both directions, like give it pull around the area, and you can usually get it back to flat. And if you can't get that little pulled thread to go exactly back in, it is okay to just like trim it. The whole thing won't fall apart.
No. Fabric's pretty amazing. Like Ali will tell you I'm pretty obsessed. I'm always asking her for information about fabric because she's got the degree. But it is amazing. Like, I don't think we give it enough credit. Even in the cheapest of clothes, the weave, it's quite a kind of complex process to get it, that way. What have we got on?
I love this.
Has that answered your question, Joe?
I think that's a great answer for Joe. I'll just have a chit chat with them on the chat as well, see if there's anything else coming through.
Sweet. And what have we got today? What have we got now? Are you layering here?
Oh, I should have done a reveal. Like,
whoa. Okay, so we're talking about the jacket here.
Yeah, we're talking about the jacket. So this jacket is my sister got advertised on, it was targeted to her on Instagram, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'll buy that for my sister. It looks quite like it photographs well, but it's this really weird, it's just like cotton with amazing embroidery and stuff over the top, but it hangs weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because it looks like a really lightweight fabric with very heavy embellishment.
It does.
So it's that,
like I've never worn it before. Sorry, Kiri, my sister, if you're online. And I don't know that I will. So do you any
Well, Like,
what would you do?
I feel like the problem with it is that it isn't jacket. It isn't the structure of a jacket. It's the structure of a shacket, which is the word we use for a shirt come jacket, which is basically a shirt that you wear as a jacket. But I feel like because it has the heavy embellishment, it's probably bothering you that it's kind of a little bit too flimsy for all that. It's kind of like it's weighing under its own.
Like it feels unbalanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would do? I would do the opposite to what I usually suggest with jackets. I would wear the jacket as a shirt.
Yeah.
What would we call that? A shacket as well. It becomes a shacket too.
I think we call it a shirt.
So what I would do is I would button it up. I would take the top from underneath. I would, especially in summer, I wouldn't have the top on underneath. I won't make you get in your bra now, but and I would button it. Okay, do it. Yeah.
There's a mirror behind you.
Yeah, there is a mirror. Be careful. So while she's off there, I'd button it all the way to the top because it looked like it had a mandarin collar, which would be super cute, and with the embroidery. So, and then I would actually tuck it in because I think it's because it's pulling it down, all that stuff on it, isn't it?
Yeah, and
so
it's pulling to the sides because it's open. So you're right.
So you'd just be really careful. So the tucking in has just got to be good. So
that's cool.
That is cool. Go all the way to. Can you not go all the way to the top? There's no button up there.
I like it where
it's fine, but I just wondered. Look, it's what?
Bit booby.
Oh,
that's all right. You can just use Hollywood tape for any gaps like that. I mean, women. Tip while we're on the subject, women are always having issues because I guess
everyone gets that gaping.
Is it because men design bloody buttoned up shirts? That's why I always assume it's the men's fault because it's like it gapes right at the wrong point of your chest.
Yeah.
But can you change where the button is, or is that too hard with the button?
I usually just do a safety pin from the inside, so you can't see it. Yeah,
Hallie's always got the tips on this kind of thing. Yeah,
but I would undo that top one because I think before it was sitting like it wasn't looking like
sure. Okay, sure.
But that looks great.
I love that. It looks good as a shirt.
Yeah,
that's actually honestly that has revolutionized the way I think about this.
We say that a lot.
You're welcome.
We say like that you should be open to your clothes like changing roles.
Yeah, like
you should be okay instead of always thinking of it as a jacket that you can never wear because it's not warm enough and it hangs weirdly. Like just be like, this is a shirt now. Yeah. Or like that you can they can change context as well, like something you would have always thought of as workwear can become casual or vice versa, or like something that you thought was too fancy, just like incorporate that in your everyday wardrobe.
And and Ali does something cool with her wardrobe. She's a bit more organized than I am. I would do cool stuff, but I'm just disorganized. Is that you arrange your wardrobe in rainbow as opposed to in categories, so that some people have their workwear together and they're like active wear together and they're like not going out wear together. That's how you get stuck in a rut. You've got to mingle it all up, like it's just like nice big orgy in your wardrobe. And if you do it in more of a rainbow, then if you're looking for a red thing, if you fancy wearing a red thing, it could be a red t-shirt, it could be a red silky going out top, you know what I mean? And you can just make it right for the day and for the event and for the moment.
And sometimes like just a racerback tank that you would always wear to the gym might just one day be perfect for the outfit that you want. Exactly. But if it's stuffed in a drawer, you're never going to think of it.
Because you might just want a little flash of red in a layered outfit, so you never even see the fact that it's a racerback, that kind of thing. Should
we let Veronica talk?
Yes.
Marie Kondo would not be happy with this.
Don't care. Don't like her.
Oh, that's anti-Kondo.
I'm anti-Kondo. She's not.
I love the idea of her. I want her to come and do my house, but then I'd hide everything here at my shop. So
I don't like her because she's telling us all that we need to constantly clear out and be clutter free. Well, that's what's causing all the problems that we're talking about, isn't it? Because then you're going to replace, aren't you? Like people keep consuming and they're going to consume if they feel they don't have enough stuff.
That's right. Those monster piles that she would get people to make.
Some people are minimal and it works for them, but not for fashion lovers. It doesn't work. Yeah.
And something I've been doing started out of pure laziness, but I noticed there was a shift in my brain, is not taking my bags to the op shop and just literally letting them pile up in my own home. And I think if you do that, you can be quite confronted with how much, even if you think you're not very wasteful and you think, I only shop secondhand, we do all, because like you did in your podcast, you did a few stunts about like, this is how many clothes people throw out each year and all, and everyone hears those stats and goes, oh well, it's not me, someone else must be bumping up the stats. But you Like,
it really is. It's us.
Yeah.
It's all of us.
Yeah, sure. And it's such a big cultural problem, isn't it? Like, we all just see clothes as being quite disposable, and they're things that we wear to make us, like, as a part of our identity, which I don't know. I'm certainly getting better at, like, re-wearing stuff and not caring, which is excellent.
Yeah. Oh,
What's this skirt? Because I feel like it was of a couple of years ago.
it was everywhere. Yeah.
But I really like the color.
Yeah.
The shine. We've established I like shine. This was from an op shop, so and it's really kind of crap. Like, it doesn't have a hem or anything. What do you?
It shouldn't have a hem anyway. It's pleated, right?
Yeah, it's very hard to do. That pleating's done with like a steaming machine thingy, and it only, that kind of pleating, permanent pleating, only works on synthetic fabrics because it sort of melts the shape into the plastic fabric, basically. Like, trying to make silk like that doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
And so because it's being like thermo treated to do the pleats, then the hem is often left raw because otherwise it like probably clogs up the machine or something. So, and it's usually made out of fabric that can just be cut. Like,
so don't diss the skirt. It's fine. This is about like us looking at things that we feel might be a bit cheap in our wardrobe, and instead of replacing them with something,
and my main thing is making sure people realize, like, clothes that come from fast fashion factories are still made by skilled garment workers, and they're made by women, usually women, sitting at a sewing machine, putting the clothes together and sewing them, or operating the pleating machine or whatever. It's not made on an assembly line of robots putting things together. Like, so people think that fast fashion is of poorer quality, and if it is, it's because the company has used cheaper materials, or usually because they're not paying their workers enough. Like,
and they're doing it in the dark.
The people who made the clothes usually did do quite a good job.
So it's
and if you've got fast fashion, you should keep wearing it.
Again, we're not saying buy fast fashion. We're saying when you're in an op shop, I personally think it's wrong to diss. Although I did it the other day, didn't I? Oh, never mind. But generally, I think it's good just to kind of see it as it's almost become. It's like democratic. Once it's in an op shop, it's just everything's free for all. It's all sort of the same,
And you should honor the person that put work into it.
Yeah, forget the stupid company, because you're not giving them money at this point. You're giving your money to save the children. You're not giving your money to the horrible fat cats at Zara. So you know what I mean? I'm all for buying fast fashion from op shops if you like them and think you'll wear them. Did you say?
Tell me about your skirt.
Anyway, so what's wrong with the skirt then? Why?
It's just weird length, I think. Yeah. It's do you know, like, obviously I am a mum of two, but some clothes make me feel more mum-esque than others, and this length is quite mum-esque
because it's midi.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, it's like mid-calf,
Right. Mid-calf, that's a midi. I mean, so two things. One is that pleat, as you said, it was everywhere, and midi skirts, especially kind of A-line midi skirts, were everywhere when I first became a mum about the time when Carousel Trail started, 2010. So I understand why people feel like they're mumsy, but I've been a fan. Then I'm still a fan because I don't know why. Just I feel like they're so comfy and just kind of and practical when you're a mum of young kids and you're always bending over and stuff, and your mini just won't cut it. So I feel like if you're worried about something being mumsy, then it's really just the way you wear it. It comes down to the way you wear it. And I think it's, again, going back to that, bringing opposing things together. So if something's mumsy, wear it a bit punky, wear it a bit edgy. So, wear your most edgy, if you've got some edgy, chunky boots, or dad sneakers, like not the white kind of ones that seem like they would go better. Wear your gym sneakers with them, and it's everywhere. Like Gucci are making really old, a few years ago were making really old looking, like, skanky dad sneakers that you would find in the bottom of your dad's gym box or whatever. It's not even a thing. And it's like, well, we don't have to buy them from Gucci. You just wear, you know what I mean? That would edge it up. That would feel very kind of on trend without buying new. And or what other things we can edge it up with? I don't know, kind of leather, or
I was going to say a leather jacket, or like a band t-shirt or something like that's not silver and pleated. Or you could go really
like Chloe Savini and really out there, which probably I would do with that skirt, and wear it with something that really shouldn't go, and maybe doesn't go, but if you wear it with intention, it bloody well goes. And that is like, you know, a Victorian kind of high neck, slightly frilly 80s blouse or something like that. You know, it's just it's kind of like, yeah, find a way to wear it, because if you think it's mumsy, then you can do something about that.
I'd be dressing it right down. That's what I would do. Yeah. Just make it, wear it as you would wear like a denim skirt or something, and just try and, like, again, change its role. Because I think it seems like a feature piece, so you feel like you need to get the outfit right to feature it correctly. But if you just, because it's grey, it's quite neutral. Like,
it's not.
You could just wear it with a t-shirt and
just
sneakers,
silver.
like Converse sneakers would look good.
Okay. So I feel like the takeaway from this has been like, just own it.
Yeah.
Own it. Bar a mum.
A lot of
yeah,
exactly. There's nothing wrong with being mumsy.
You are a mum, but if you're wearing a silver pleated skirt, you're a cool mum.
Yeah. I do feel like that is the takeaway. I feel like like I said, it doesn't really matter what the clothes are, and so many people have good clothes in their wardrobe that they don't dare to wear. It is about your psychology around it. It's about finding the confidence. The most common thing that probably you don't get, because people mostly come into Ali's shop for occasions, but for a lot of vintage dealers that I talk to, the most common kind of like reservation people have when they're trying something on that looks really, really awesome, but they don't know whether to wear it is, but where will I wear it to? And it's like,
wear it anywhere. Don't
wait for the event. You are the event. Is how you got to see life.
Yeah.
Tomorrow might be your last day on this earth, and I'm not even joking about that.
Yeah. And we talk about the whole idea of soft launch, because a lot of the time it's not that they're scared to wear it. They're scared that the weird guy that works in accounts at their work is going to say something stupid about it. They're going to make a stupid joke.
Like, oh, so silver skirt.
Or like
going to the moon.
Yeah, or that their mum will say something, or, you know, so we always say, so first try wearing it somewhere where you're only going to see strangers, because strangers usually won't say that you look terrible.
or even say anything. They'll only
they won't say
anything.
You look
great.
Yeah. And then once you've got your confidence up wearing it around strangers, wear it with your nice friends, like wear it out to lunch or whenever you see your friends, wear it there. And then by the time you've worn it a few times, it feels more you, and you feel more okay in it, and then you can wear it anywhere.
We've got would you believe we've got someone on the line, and I'm popping back to video because I realized I was the voice of God before with my question.
That's okay.
Kind of weird. So Lauren, would you believe it, has pretty much the same skirt as
wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, seriously.
And we have one in the shop too.
I asked the question before the skirt came out. So she's got a metallic pleated skirt from Romance Was Born.
Oh.
She bought it new to her online, but it was actually larger than she expected. So she's keen to understand how tricky it would be to alter. It has a solid black waistband, it's not elasticated, and it's a polyester fabric.
Ali's going to get her silver pleated skirt. Oh, it's not silver. Ali's going to get her pleated skirt to show you exactly how to do that. I'm assuming that's what she's going to do. I have all faith in her. She can fix any problem.
And I'm assuming
it's clever. Like,
and I'm assuming, like you mentioned earlier, you're dry cleaner potentially if you're not.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you want
to, seamstress,
if you want to actually put effort in and do it properly, then you can put darts in, and you just put it. So darts are when you basically just pleat some out. I'm sorry, I only have a black one. That's the hardest to see. But that's when you sort of fold and pinch some out from the inside, and you can even just sew the waistband if you want. Like because it's pleated, the rest can hang loose.
Yeah.
But if I'm very lazy, which I often am, and because I wear a lot of clothes that don't belong to me because they belong to the shop, I would get a big, strong safety pin, and I would do that, like put it somewhere along. So I've just undone the zipper. So go with the back. It's a side zip. Go with the back, and then see how there's a hook there to do it up. If there's not, you can buy some and maybe sew it on. And then the safety pin would create an extra loop that you can just hook into, and it just literally overlaps. And
so instead of the eye, you have a hook and eye. Instead of the eye, you're using a safety pin.
Yeah, and then can you be the safety pin? Hold it at the top there. Then you can still zip it up usually, at least part of the way,
and it
enough
just kind
that
of
you're not
folds
going to show
in.
your undies, and it folds in. I'm very about doing lazy hacks. So.
Yeah, that might be. And usually Ali does it just before she goes out, because she's got this thing about not creating a pile of of jobs to do, because you'll never get to it, but rather just keep them hanging in your wardrobe. And if you suddenly have the urge to wear it, then fix it just before you
do
go.
whatever you need to do to get it wearable, because if you put it in an alterations pile, I'm sorry, but you won't get to it.
No, it's a
and
fact.
Then you may as well just throw it out.
Yeah.
And people get scared of like ruining it, but it's like, if it's sitting in your alterations pile because it doesn't fit you or it's got a hole in it, then isn't it sort of ruined? Like if it's not wearable, then
definitely you're only going to make it better. So you could probably do the safety pin hack while you get around to finding a seamstress or booking in, or to go into a seamstress. So
well, you can tell yourself that and then just wear it with a safety pin.
And then you'll end up doing it forever and you'll be fine, and then everything will be fine.
With anything with resizing, and maybe this is a mum thing, like I tend to prefer a non-permanent solution, because you never know when you need to let it back out.
Exactly. I think that's a really healthy way of looking at your clothes as well. I hate it when your clothes are relying on you being of a certain size and shape, and women do fluctuate up and down all through their lives. So, and that's fine. And I think that we need to try and be more versatile with our clothes to kind of follow along with it.
I don't know if that was hard to see, but like imagine this is the half of this either side of your zip. You undo the zip and just literally overlap it and fasten it somewhere.
That's right. I love hacks. That's so good.
Oh God,
you can do that with pants too. What are you wearing?
Yeah, what's this? You changed.
Oh yeah, this is this little bad boy is
so cute.
I've only ever worn this once because I think it's am I wearing the zip in the wrong? Oh no, that's right. It's a pleather skirt. Why was it? Yeah, it's crazy.
Has it got like a little embossment, like a crocodile or lizard?
Yes, it's got a crocodile skin embossment on it, and it was like I went through a pretty hard like Gorman phase, and so this is part of that Gorman phase.
Yeah, but it doesn't look very Gorman. It's it could be just a vintage one, couldn't it?
Yeah. I like it with that top.
Yeah, I do too. But I'll say about bright red that it's a color that I think scares some people, but I think with it probably brings me into the color combo I feel like I want to mention color combo, because that's one of the reasons that people really are a little bit afraid of putting things together, and they might have something really colorful and they end up only wearing it with jeans or with black pants or black top, and it really limits them. And I think that's a big part of that kind of 80% of clothes that don't go unworn, I reckon, is fear of color and fear of getting colors wrong. And there are so many rules that are made up by God knows who, and I don't know when it was, like blue and green should never be seen. I do not understand that anyway. It's like we need to move on from those and actually look to Mother Nature to see that colors of every kind are put together and just work really beautifully. Green and blue is the main color. Green grass and blue sky. It's always seen. So
was that your reservation, that color?
I don't know if it was, but I felt like it was a good opportunity to bring that up. Is the red color part of the reservation? The brightness, the kind of...
Yeah, but also just wearing something that's pleather. I don't know what there is to be done about this one.
Another way of calling it is vegan leather, and then automatically you're just being very now. But I think what I was going to suggest involves, I feel like pastel colors are really good with bright colors. So that's one kind of, I guess, style hack to think of when you're looking at all your different colored items and not knowing how to wear them together.
I can arrange that while you're talking.
Sure. Well, I was going to also say, because of the pleatherness and the mininess and the crocodileness of the skirt, that will be good. But I was going to say also, nice.
That's good.
That's really cute. But the other thing I was going to say is in terms of silhouette and kind of vibe, if you have something really like sexy and, kind of feminine, it would be also nice to have something a little bit masculine on top. So I would go like, do you have a man in your house?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if you've got men's shirts available to you, anyone who's watching this, they are such a good, Ali does it all the time.
I do it a lot.
Such a good way of just, if you want to add that element of, if you're doing something that really, if you've got really girly bottom, like maybe it's floral pants, or maybe it's like what you
Love the
exactly
layering.
exactly. I love how that's quite small. I was thinking something a bit big. I was thinking something a bit oversized.
Do you have a bigger man in
looser.
your house?
Tiny man in my house.
Is that your man shirt?
That's he's a felt guy.
Hilarious. Okay. Well, anyway, anyone who has a big man in their house can definitely use. But that's pretty cute. I mean,
I like this.
Yeah.
I liked the green better though.
I did too.
Yeah.
The minty.
I think what you said about the pastel and bright, I never noticed that you do that all the time. And I think it is why you look like you're good at color, because it's like,
Oh,
I don't know, maybe that's the formula that makes it.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, that's like something kind of unexpected, but it instantly looks very cool. Like,
well, what I also suggest with color is that instead of thinking of neutrals going with color and print, well, thinking of neutrals, but changing how you think of neutrals, so that neutrals aren't necessarily like just beige and black and white, which I personally don't believe black to be a neutral. I think it's way too strong and bold. But to actually think of neutrals as being, again, like Mother Nature neutrals, moss, terracotta, rust, sky blue, all the neutrals that are backdrops to everything else. And if you're doing a fashion shoot in nature, you're totally accepting the fact that there's going to be a bright, especially in Australia, there's a bright blue sky behind everything that you're dressing the model in, and
it looks good.
and it looks great. So if you think of it that way, but so like for me, my guy's got a kind of corporate job, so I go into raid his business shirts, and he's quite big, so it's like that business shirt blue, it's kind of a pale blue. I feel like that can work, and like little stripes, and maybe like a bit of a French tuck into your leather skirt, so you've got a kind of half in, half out, basically. It can be like that, and it can be longitudinally and latitudinally, is that the way to put it? It can be like front and then back out, or generally the other way around, but sometimes but it's more just to make it look kind of so you can see your skirt, but you also get the vibe of you're wearing a bit of a looser top. And I feel like it's a fun play of silhouettes, really.
And with pleather, because if you're worried about wearing the pleather, like keep it hanging all the time, because if you keep pleather like folded up on each other, especially here where it gets hot and humid, like they can sort of melt into each other, and that's when you like unfold it and it peels off, and so it's like like I said before, even if it's like something that seems quite cheap and fast fashiony, look after it as though it's like couture, because so like keep your pleather hanging, preferably not next to something else that's like shiny or plasticky, because it will sort of get impressions on it. Like if you hang it next to something, I don't know if you have a studded something, but like you'd get marks from that, or like something with buttons, you might get marks from the buttons. So just
great. We have time for some more things.
Well, we think so.
But Barbara is the god.
I'm back. I'll jump in with a couple of questions while Veronica gets her next piece ready, because we're getting some great stuff, including some styling tips from our audience as well, which is fun to see. Can we just recap on the Salma's got a great question about how to organize your clothing. She feels really overwhelmed with her wardrobe. So how does she do it so it's easy to find what she wants to wear?
We are both big fans of secondary storage, and I know that like can be a tricky thing, because not everyone has a lot of space, I mean including us, but you're a big fan, like secondary storage, no matter what it looks like. What does secondary storage mean?
Secondary storage basically means you can still have that Marie Kondo capsule vibe, which the thing I like about it is that you can actually see your clothes. It's less overwhelming. You can just see potential outfits because you can see your clothes. So the way to do that is, depending on your space, is either find a secondary wardrobe in another room, or
it's in my garage.
It's in Ali's garage, it's in my attic, and have all your off-season things, not just as in winter, summer. I think it goes further than that. Like I've got a fairly sizable wardrobe, but considering how big it is, it's generally pretty sparse. And I try to keep everything else not nicely put away so that you can, so it's basically just getting rid of the overwhelm. But if you've got less space, you can just use a suitcase, you can use plastic boxes. I think it's important to store it properly, especially in Sydney when it's damp. So you know, Google the best way to store all your things, especially jumpers and natural fibers and pleather. I feel like just get used to it and then bring it out. And that's an even better way of shopping your own wardrobe, because you're literally, it's like bringing the stuff out again that you haven't worn for a while and getting yourself a new capsule of your own clothes and feel like new. Like new clothes.
And we say to do that by like pretending you're going on a holiday, like say you're going to, you know, London for the summer. You just go, okay, what do I need for 3 months of summer? And you'll end up picking out all your favorite pieces. And and then it also encourages re-wearing. So you need to keep just the right, whatever your amount of storage is, make sure it's not too stuffed full, because it just becomes way too much. And I try to have as much hanging as possible, because I just find it a lot easier to, it's really only knitwear that I don't have hanging. Same here. Otherwise everything goes on a hanger. I have it all in color order. I don't know what you do. I in my fantasies I have it all in color order. Let's just say I do, because one day I'll get around to it. I used to. Way more colors than me. I wear about 5 colors, so it's easier for me. Well, see, mostly I just get away with having a slightly messy wardrobe, because I'm a bit of a messy person, and I get away with it because it is, most of the stuff is actually in the attic most of the time, and so I just kind of work with this small fraction of the clothes that I have in the wardrobe as much as I can, until I feel like I need to swap, and I rotate. That's why we call it a rotational capsule. Then I get all the stuff out of storage, work out, like you say, a 3-month pack, you know, version of how I want to dress for the next 3 months. And you know, you can theme it, you can kind of have fun with it. You can say, I want to like look like a fashion director for the next 3 months. This is my French girl summer. French girl summer. Has Veronica got a new outfit?
Well, actually, can I ask you a question first, Ali? How did you decide like what 5 colors?
I think just over time noticing what I wear most was just that I mostly wear neutrals, and like black, grey, blue, lots of blue. And I just found when it comes to like, if I'm bringing in, I wear a lot of like rust, autumny kind of colors. And then if it's bringing in an accent color, it's almost always going to be bright green or yellow. Maybe. Wow.
I love this.
You kind of have to be calculated. I think you've got to analyze your own wardrobe, and that's what it means by spending time with your wardrobe. You're analyzing your own style, your own taste. And you know, there's so much out there that tells you what your style should be and tells you what your taste should be. Your taste should be all the latest fashions and this era and whatever. But actually, you know what your taste is, and you will know what your taste is if you start to analyze what you've bought in the past and how it makes you feel when you look like.
And your taste, enough to wear it. Your taste is to really have fun with colors. You're going to have a lot of colors. Whereas I just found that, you know, things like, I like the color red, but I never ever wear it. So I just stopped buying red things. You know.
Okay. I mean, it's good to just even be aware of that rather than just wasting time and money and like, you know, country, like the whole world, the planet.
You look amazing. I love. Just need wood tape.
I bought this again from an op shop for New Year's Eve, and then I hated it so much, but I took a selfie where in a light where it looked good, and I put it online and pretended that this is what I wore, and then I wore something way more comfortable.
Why is it not comfy? It looks really comfy.
It's just, I feel like this is like, I don't know. I don't like how it just all flows but tightly here.
I feel like that line of pleats hits at a funny spot. I'd be like,
so how would you do? What would you do with that, Ali?
I'd put a big belt on and like tuck.
Pull it up. And then make the belt invisible.
So basically do that and have a belt around that.
So when Ali says big belt, she's not talking about accessorizing for the look of the belt. She's talking about just making it sit differently, so sit higher up on your waist, if that makes you feel more comfortable. So basically it goes around and then you pull it over. You can't see the belt. It's one of Ali's many.
I would do it under. It would be quite tricky. But I want to get in there and poke it for you.
But I know what you mean.
the way you held it up before is like how you would want it, like with the skirt. Yeah.
Oh, you do, exactly, and you just adjust it until you got it how you want it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That
Like,
would be,
I don't like a low waist myself. Like, I never feel comfy in it.
what
But
is it? The 30s or something, isn't it? I don't know. What era is that?
yeah. Oh, the era of the dress. Oh, you mean the low? They have
like
a lot of
20s,
it in the 30s. Yeah.
30s, yeah.
Also, I don't
90s.
flattering, really. Yeah, and you can't wear no bra. So basically, the bra that I'm wearing now, I couldn't wear out because it's too, like, you can see it everywhere.
Yeah.
But but it's just, I don't.
I mean, I have to say, I think it looks gorgeous on you, but it's about how you feel in it, you know.
Yeah.
What about? I've contemplated just like cutting it off as a singlet or something. Crazy?
No, not crazy at all. If that means you're going to
dress.
wear it. But if you'll still have the bra problem, unless what you could do is wear a contrasting color, like a bright green bra, so that it's like, and then it's probably less of a cleavage, and it would just be a bit more of a day thing with jeans, you know how Carrie Bradshaw always wears like a bra that's intentionally on display, and it's just going with that. Sometimes when you've got a weird kind of neckline cut, like, I feel like you just embrace the fact that your bra is on show, just make it a thing.
I used to do that with like Cook-Eye singlets in the early 2000s,
Yeah, well, the early 2000s are completely back in fashion, so you can do that again if you've still got those Cook-Eye singlets.
No, I don't think so.
No, thank you. but if you want to make it into a top, do it. It's your dress. If you're not wearing it as a dress, but you would wear it as a top, make the bottom part into a skirt for one of your daughters.
Absolutely.
That's a good idea.
Or a little skater skirt for yourself. You could wear, or you can make it into a skater skirt for yourself, and you'd have a little matching set.
Yeah. Well, that's funny that you say, actually, because like this, for example, used to be a dress, and so I cut it off, and I didn't hem it or anything. I just cut it off, but now I have this weird bit of the dress. I don't
probably make a boob tube out of it, or a very small mini, or a snood. Remember snoods? Yeah, totally.
Like a boob tube.
Yeah, for summer. Yeah, and then just hem just like fold over the top. Yeah. It's cute because it's a kind of slightly loose boob tube, so it makes it, just a little bit more casual, I guess.
And with knit, just do it, like fold it over, but do it by hand. But when you sew by hand, so like in a zigzag, so up, down, up, down, up, down. So then when it stretches, it doesn't break.
That's good to know.
It's really, you can get away with knitwear because there's so many like nooks and crannies to hide your stitches in. Yeah,
definitely. That's why darting is way easier than you think. You can just do crappy not darting, what am I saying? Darning.
Yeah,
you can do, you're like, you can do pretty crappy darning, which is what I've done with awesome jumpers to make them last longer, and it works really well, and no one will ever know how crap it looks on the inside. And inside,
yeah, totally. Like
you have Barbara's back.
I've popped back because there's a question that fits with what we're talking around refashioning. So we've got someone that said, should we hold on to clothes that are too small? Good question. And try to refashion them, or should we just donate them?
I don't. That's a tough one. I currently do, and I do currently have a lot of clothes that are too small for me, and I'm kind of telling myself to just. And this is because I sew a lot, and so I'm, thinking in going forward of not buying many clothes at all. I'm going to try and make more of my own clothes, and it's easier to make from existing things. So I'm kind of keeping them as a library of like, I will remake these into different things. I just think that's a big like psychological one. Is whether maybe it is better for you to just get those out of your life. So I think that depends on the individual.
It depends, and it also depends on the quality of the item. I just think with anything that you may donate to an op shop, I think it's got to be, I mean, I guess if it's too small, we assume that it's still in pretty good nick, and if that's the only reason you don't wear it. But you must think, is this something that you would give to your sister? If not, then don't donate it. I just think people need to be really way more mindful of as to what they donate,
or find someone to give it to directly.
And take individual items, by the way, for op shops. Don't take a big bag of stuff. Take individual items while they're open and go up to the person and say, would this be any use? Just put it in your handbag. When you notice that you don't want to get rid of it, put it in your handbag and take it. Like,
and again, like, this depends on you and how you think this will make you feel, but like, I think it is okay to just wear things, like I said about changing roles. Maybe if there's something that used to be an oversized shirt and now it's an open shacket, like, you can be okay with that. No one's going to know and go, wait, didn't that used to fit you? Or like, I had a skirt when I was a teenager that was, in the low waist era, and it was very low waisted boho kind of skirt, and then when like high waisted skirts were in, like, almost 10 years later, probably, I was wearing that exact same skirt and it fitted me right up high around the waist, and it was just totally different fit than it was when I was younger. But if you can be okay with that, then experiment.
And we also, both of us do wear things with the zip not completely done up.
You really want to say
in the
something,
winter,
Barbara?
Sorry.
No, I'm just we're kind of running out of time, which is sad because I feel like we all want another half an hour of this. And Trisha's come in, and I think it's a really good question that people will want to know. If they're not good enough to donate to an op shop, so if you wouldn't give it to a mate and you can't donate it, what do you do then? What are the options? And actually, Veronica, I'm sure you might have some tips here too from the great work you did with Threads.
I mean, I guess, as these guys have already said, like, if you could mend it, like if there's a way that you could mend it to keep it yourself. But ultimately, like, with some fast fashion stuff that, as Ali was saying, as much as it might be beautifully made, like, often they are made to break, and so they're just going to be crap. And you could turn it into like a rag that you'd use around the house. Or like, is there a way to use it otherwise so that it's not going straight to landfill? That would probably be my biggest thing, which I naturally do anyway. Do Joe and Ali?
Yeah.
I think whatever you can do to reuse it within your own household is always going to be preferable to whatever clothing recycling schemes that all seem to mean well, but it's just, they must be receiving so much stuff, it's hard to know exactly what they're using it for. And how,
so there are lots of schemes going on, but I did some research for a workshop Ali and I did for Inner West Council, and it was just I actually just pretty much cried because it was so depressing. I was really depressed about it because I was like, the whole point of the workshop was to answer that question, and that's why we were really hesitant to answer it this time, because the answer is not simple, and it is basically, at the moment, we don't have a whole lot of options, which is why we need to consume less, because another kind of catchphrase I developed during that point was my shit, my problem. So even if I bought it secondhand, whatever, if I own something, offloading it onto somebody else is not something I'm going to do anymore. I'm actually going to deal with it myself and do everything in my power to make sure it stays out of landfill. And like Ali says, that basically means don't believe the Zara and H&M like recycling boxes or whatever that they have in the shops. They're not recycling. Recycling fabric is really, really, really complex, and especially majority of the things that we own that are polyester blend, that is way harder than recycling plastic bottles and stuff, because it's a bunch of different synthetics, and to actually you have to separate them all, and then they're not recycled anyway. At best they're downcycled, but I think that's about 8% of stuff, if that. The rest is shipped off to countries who do not want any more of our shit. They've got enough of it. So I think
use cleaning rags
at home as much as you can.
Stuff your
definitely snakes for drafts. Cut it up if it's a nice fabric, and you just don't like the thing anymore. It's got holes and whatever, and it's not good enough to donate. Cut it up and like maybe save a bunch of or save a bunch of fabrics, and one day maybe you'll do something. But I think just as long as you maybe even put aside some space in your cupboard that is for this kind of thing. So you're cutting things up and you're maybe taking zips out and you're doing all the sorting, because it's the sorting and it's all that process that is actually so makes people just want to get rid of it, including our country wants to get rid of all this crap to somebody else because they don't have the resources to sort it.
If it feels like too much to, like, if you're like, but I've got way too much stuff to use as clothing, like that's yeah, that's the point. That's the point we're making.
So it's like
that's when it is really good to make yourself deal with it, because that is a great way to make yourself stop
buying so much. So yeah, exactly. So the answer is not easy and straightforward. It's probably not what you want to hear, but that's our point. It's like we're trying to say, okay, maybe just slow down on your buying so that you don't have as many clothes that you can't donate and that you have to deal with.
Yeah, and some great tips actually from the people joining us. So Anna's suggested if they're natural fibers, you can stick them in Worm Farm. Great tip. And also have a think about fabric artists who are often looking for interesting fabrics. So if maybe the garment's come to its end of its life, but the fabric's good, maybe there's someone you can donate that to.
This is all true. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can upcycle. You know, if you, we're hoping that there's some more people that kind of find this information for us, because it's been I'm still working on a document for that workshop, because it's so hard to get to know who to send it all to, because there's a lot of individual artists who need this stuff, but finding who they are. Facebook is good for that, by the way. There are fabric like groups on Facebook, and you can go on there and say, I've got a bunch of fabric if anyone wants it. And
all right, that's a great tip. We've got an incredible question because we're at 4. I think we might do this. This is a great question to end on, and then top tips and biggest takeaway from you, Veronica, from today's session. So the final question is, what is a versatile piece to buy from an op shop which can be easily complemented and dressed across seasons and occasions? Big question and a great one.
We might have different thoughts. This is a tricky one because it's hard to find in an op shop, but it's always on my wish list, and it doesn't seem like my style at all, but honestly think that like a natural colored shirt, so it could be a kind of off-white, it could be any of the colors that I described before, a cotton shirt that is neither fitted nor too loose, just a kind of classic cotton shirt with simple color, you know, just like nothing fancy, nothing different, asymmetrical or anything, just cotton, simple. To me, you will wear that forever. And if it's in a color that you love, but so let's say pale pink, let's say, you know, sky blue, moss, rust, something natural, you can wear it with anything, and it as a neutral. That would be my pick.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar. Is I love finding really good old like men's t-shirts, because for some reason, I think we know the reason, men's clothes tend to be made at better quality than women's, and the reason sexism, by the way. It's the patriarchy. But a good like men's 100% cotton, as you say, t-shirt that's just a little bit oversized, in a color that you love. I think I have a few and I get so much wear out of them, and sometimes I make it a real fun fashion challenge to dress it up, and sometimes it's to walk the dog, sometimes I sleep in it, like if you know, because we think when we say versatile, we think, oh, we can wear it to dinner and to work and to the theater, but actually like I like when I can also wear it in my everyday life, because I spend a lot more time walking my dog than I do going out to dinner. So.
Nice. Might probably be like a woolen jumper. Just wool is so expensive to buy, so I often don't. And so I would like err on the side of looking at other cheaper fabrics to buy new. But if you like something that's great quality and wool and in like a black or something that you'll just wear forever, would probably...
You can keep repairing it.
Yeah. That would probably be the biggest one for me. Yeah, I think so.
And what, Veronica, are you going to take away from today's session that you've done with Joanne?
Oh, I love the idea of changing the roles of clothes. I think that's really great. That jacket that became a shirt, that's actually changed everything for me. That's awesome. And as the first thing that we went to, I almost felt like it seemed like a setup. Like it really wasn't. I had no idea that could just be a great shirt. I'm excited about it.
You still be happy.
The takeaway for me, otherwise, like not from what Ali and Joe have said, and I know that we've spoken about this before, is that if for anybody who's listening to this right now, to tell their friends about what they've learned, because we just need more and more people to think like this and to buy less and buy secondhand and look within their wardrobe to what they've already got. Because if you've joined this call, like maybe you already kind of think in this direction and you were like reaffirming what you already believe, like tell someone who doesn't.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's great. And there'll be a recording with you all very soon that you can send on. Send on to those 2 or 3 friends that you think need a little bit of converting. Jo and Ali, what would your final wise words would you like to leave with everyone?
Oh my God.
I've got so many catchphrases to choose from. Where do I start?
This is so typical of Jo's got too much to say and I've got nothing to say.
No, you don't say.
I'm always like, just bloody wear it.
Just bloody wear it. Yeah. I'm going to say the same just to boost Ali's confidence in her catchphrases.
Great advice. Thank you guys so much. We really could chat and chat and chat, and it's testament to how engaging and fantastic today was that everyone stayed on the line with us. So a huge thank you, Veronica. Incredibly amazing that you've led us into your wardrobe today and played dress up with us. And Jo and Ali, incredible advice, like so many game-changing things. I'm like, I think safety pins, and we're gonna become my new best friends. And I'm going to be reordering my wardrobe into color order. It's just incredible. Just great tips. So before you all dash off to start doing that, as I'm sure you're all keen to start, please do tell us how you got on today. If you get your phone up, scan that QR code. It's a super short survey. It's completely anonymous, and it will really help us to understand what you thought of today, and what kind of events you want us to bring into your living rooms in future. So really, really appreciate your support and help filling out that survey for us. Please do follow our experts on Instagram. And definitely have a look out for the Threads podcast. Go to your favorite podcast app of choice and get on board with Questioning Fashion, which is Jo and Ali's incredible podcast. And in fact, season 2 just came out with an interview with Veronica. So highly recommend that. If you enjoyed today, there's still time to get involved in our next event on tomorrow. So we've got the fantastic Barry Dubois and colourful and flamboyant and incredible Chrissy Flanagan from the Chaotic Social joining us tomorrow, and they're talking about community connections. So it'll be a great session to learn more about getting to know your neighbours. And last but not least, obviously we want you shopping from your wardrobe today, but second best thing is to shop secondhand. So if you're looking for a secondhand bargain, if you're looking for one of those great op shop suggestions, maybe you want to get a woolen jumper like Veronica would, or a nice neutral coloured shirt, the garage sale trail could be where it's waiting for you. So just in 2 weeks' time, there'll be 8,000 garage sales happening across Australia, and we'd love you guys to join in the pre-loved fun. So a huge thank you. That's it from us. We're so delighted you joined us. Massive thank you to our panelists. It's been just the most fun session with heaps and heaps of great tips. And as Veronica said, please do spread the word, tell your friends, and get them shopping their wardrobe. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.